hello everyone. This is Dr. Ayleen, and this is another daily dose of Medicine Walk Reclaiming 2020. And I hope everyone's doing well, and whatever your beliefs, your political affiliations, your whatever, I hope that this is a gentle time for you, because there's a lot going on. It's just a lot. And there's a lot of pulling back and forth. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of frustration. There is a lot of uncertainty. And no matter what happens, there's going to be a lot of people who are really happy and a lot of people who are really unhappy. So today, I wanted to focus a little bit on the bigger picture. Because, there's the narrow view of what's going on right now. Then there's the big picture. And then there's the big picture. And it can be kind of tough. Sometimes it can be tough to pull out of, the tunnel vision. And, we get so focused on the little details of what's going on in our lives and the little kind of nitpicky stuff. And when we consider what that bigger picture would be, that, we've got, we're dealing with COVID, we're dealing with political stuff, we're dealing with social unrest. So, those little things, that aggravation that, maybe somebody said something unkind to you, or maybe there's some little resentment between you and either a friend or a family member over something. And yes, as the holidays get closer, all those family dynamics just come out. And even though there won't be as many gatherings for Thanksgiving as say there was last year, people will still be connecting enough to both, nurture and irritate one another. So, maybe it's like some little irritation thing that comes up. So the big picture is there's a whole lot that's going on in the world that really is, there are levels of suffering that go way past whatever little irritation is there. Well, that's the big picture. The bigger picture is that, yes, we've got all of these really challenging things going on, and it's still an amazing world, and life is still tremendously precious. And even though, good things don't often make the news and kindness does not sell as much as scandal, there's a lot of people out there doing some really, really good stuff and helping other people and being there for people. And, yes, the whole big thing about people being very unkind to each other, it's on all over YouTube, it's all over Instagram, all kinds of stuff. And, catching people at these really bad moments. And yet, there are people out there doing good moments. And there are people out there being compassionate. And yes, it is very challenging. Where I live, up in the mountains, a lot of people are moving away because after the fire, they're afraid that there are going to be mudslides and that the earth is not going to be stable. And so there's a lot of people who really love being up here, whose homes survived, yet they're leaving anyway because they're scared about what would happen if we get a lot of rainstorms. And while, yes, that is an issue, and the science backs it up that there should be concerns, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right where I am. Where my cabin is at, I'm actually pretty safe from that. So while I wouldn't say I'm 100% safe, but nobody is really anywhere. So, let's say if that's a circumstance, maybe the tunnel vision, the small picture is that, wow, I had to go without, it took almost a month to get the water turned back on, which thank goodness it is back on now. But, there are still things that are kind of being put back together, and roads are being closed due to having to, they're trying to take down as many trees as they can to avoid that, if the land slides, these big trees are going to fall. So anyway, but it is an inconvenience because, maybe I'm heading out to work and I end up stuck behind a logging truck. And, that's little picture. Bigger picture is that, there were a lot of people who lost homes, and there's a lot of folks who are needing help. And, and there are safety issues that are continuing to happen. The bigger picture is, this is the beautiful mountain that I love. And I believe that I am safe, and I, need to be very compassionate to those who don't. I mean, just because I do, that doesn't mean that somebody else does. So being able to be understanding and feeling how fortunate I am and how lucky I am that where my cabin is, it's actually safe. What you doing over there, Sam? Sam. What? He's like chewing. Hey. No chewing. No chewing. I'll get you something. I'll get you a treat later, okay? I'll get you a treat in a few minutes. And my buddy here, he's still hanging in there, although he's kind of on the sliding side. Each day there's a few more things that I notice of discomfort. And while the medication has done a wonderful job of helping him to be comfortable, it's not covering as much as it did. So I know that time is coming. And that's also one of those small picture, big picture, big picture. He keeps me up at night because sometimes he gets uncomfortable or he'll just bark for no reason. And, I wake up and I soothe him until he goes back to sleep, but then he wakes up again. So I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. The bigger picture is that, he's got a lot going on with him, and it's not easy for him right now. And being a dog, he doesn't understand what's going on. So he's gonna, I need to be a little bit more patient because, he's reacting the way an animal reacts when it's hurt or it's sick. The much bigger picture is that I am so blessed to have him for the amount of time that I do. And every day is a gift with him. And I know that those days are not going to go on forever, or maybe even another few weeks. So, consider that, it's like little picture, big picture, bigger picture. What is the most important thing? The most important thing isn't that I'm missing nights of sleep because he needs to be comforted. The bigger picture, the biggest picture is that I am so blessed to have what time I do. And I know that when he's gone, I'm going to miss those barks in the night. I know that I'm going to miss, him hugging the blanket, or, if I get up to, go use the bathroom in the middle of the night and I come in and he's in my spot and, just looks at me like, no, I don't want to move. This is the warm spot. I know I'm going to miss that. And, so that's really, at the end of the day, that is really the most important thing. So what's your biggest picture? And, as you figure out, is it the little picture where, it's that immediate comfort or discomfort? Is it the bigger picture that are complications and things that not invalidate the small picture? Because, if nobody can decide what it is that is important to you. And some things are important to people and other people don't really pay much attention to it. But if it's important to that person, it's important. And, maybe it is something that seems less significant than, the other things, the other challenges going on. Or are you looking at the biggest picture where you're grateful for what you have? You're grateful for, what is there. It's shifting the focus from what is lacking to what you have. And really surviving and moving forward and transforming is about focusing not so much on what you're lacking, but looking around and saying, okay, how can I make the most of what I have here to work with? And that can make all the difference. That can, be that deciding factor between someone who is able to persevere, someone who has resilience, someone who is able to make the most of things, and someone who is just going to sit there and just focus on those things that they don't have, and putting energy into that. If you don't have it, you don't have it. It's not a resource. And sitting and complaining about the fact that you don't have it is not going to make it happen. So, that's where people get stuck. So, consider the things in your life and see about the idea of taking those steps to move to that biggest picture where, okay, but these are the good things that I have. These are the things I've got to work with. These are the ways that I have been blessed. And that can either be for you or can be for society. People talk about, it's like the election time and the craziness of it and all of the foolishness that can happen with it and all the shenanigans that, are going on. And then the biggest picture is that, at one time, I, as a Black woman, that would have been two reasons that I didn't have a right to vote. And that there are nations in the world where people are still fighting and dying for their right to vote. And that we get to do that here. That we can, generally criticize our government, because there are a lot of places in the world where, you do that, you disappear. And so everybody's kind of on their own sort of evolutionary scale with that. And I hope that for, countries that are more restrictive, that, in the very near future, they will be able to have that. And so, focusing on that biggest picture, that this is a process that we do get to participate in. There's, and holding maybe a thought for our ancestors who did fight for that, the women who faced a lot of abuse to be able to allow me to step into a polling place or, as I did this year, fill out a ballot at home that had my name on it. And also as a Black woman, that, my people fought very, very hard to be able to have that right. So I carry that for them. But see, that's looking at that big picture. That this isn't something I have to do. This is something I get to do. And we all get to do. And, it can be a lot of work. It can be hard. And I'm not saying that, you should disregard those discomforts, those little things that cause you problems, that weigh on you, because those are valid too. It's not that they're not important. And this isn't about pretending like everything's fine and putting on a fake, positive viewpoint. If you're not feeling positive, because a lot of this really sucks and it's traumatizing, it's demoralizing. And for us to be able to acknowledge those times when we're really feeling hurt by the process, where the idea that people are being unkind to one another, that ideology overrides human compassion and the ability to listen and to talk and, to just do what's right. When doing what's right isn't the most important thing, it's our side wins. So that idea that, this is a process that only improves by people getting involved. And the fact that we can get involved. We don't live in a culture where that's not allowed, that we can have the capacity to do that. So as frustrating as all of this is, give a thought to the fact that this is something that we get to be a part of. That, yes, there are going to be those who are not happy, and I cannot ever recall any type of political election type of thing where there wasn't at least half of the people who were not happy about how things went to some degree. So hang in there, and it's okay to to have the little pity party in the small picture, because sometimes we need to. Sometimes we just need to let it be known that we're not happy over something that personally happened. It's okay. But then allow yourself to take a look at that bigger picture. What are the conflicts? What are the things that have been overcome? What are the bigger things that, that people are dealing with? And then move to that biggest picture on what is it that we can all be grateful out of this? Where are the blessings? So I hope this helped. I hope that, as we step through this and finding balance through this is a part of Reclaiming 2020. And it's all going to work out. It may not be pretty, and it may drag out a bit longer. And maybe it's going to cause some rifts between people. And we can get past it. We can be better than to hold on to resentments. So, thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can please leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, then please like this video. And if you really liked it, please consider subscribing. Now, I also do a Twitch stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific time, or 8:30 p.m., I'm sorry, Pacific time. So I can be reached through that. I can be reached through Discord, and there's other ways to contact me. You can follow me on Twitter. You can reach me through my Facebook group, Medicine Walk with Dr. Ayleen, and my email address is in the description. So, again, thank you for joining me. And as always, I wish you balance, and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you, and see you next time. Bye.